This is the Paranormal Report. Welcome to the Paranormal Report. Day late and, well, I don't know about $1 short. But
I'm sure it's $1 short, too.
Or more than $1 short.
Way more.
Not a big moneymaker, but we love doing this show. So please spread the word and tell people about it. We got to get more people listening. I mean, the people that listen seem to love it. And I think the big part of the reason that they seem to love it is
Don't say that.
My co-host. Dar.
Yeah, don't say that. It's us. It's the combination.
Happy belated birthday,
It's peanut butter
Dar.
and jelly.
That's why we were a day late.
Yes,
it was Dar's
thank you.
birthday yesterday, Wednesday,
Yay.
and she kept saying, well, we can do it. It won't take very long. I'm like, no, we are not doing it. It's your birthday. You are going to enjoy, and then there's plenty of time for work on Thursday. So here we are.
Yeah, I did enjoy. I want to thank you immensely. It was my first birthday in many, many, many years without either child here. We've always had at least one here. But Jim made up for it in spades. You really oversaw everything, and you were just very, very sweet. I had a wonderful day. Thank you, my baby.
Well, I'm glad. I knew it was going to be particularly challenging being the first time. And it was nice because, with the miracle of technology, and I think we take all this so for granted. But we were able to FaceTime the kids, and we were on for maybe an hour and a half or something like that.
Yeah, it was fun.
And we did. It's hard to sing happy birthday. You get the delay. That doesn't work so well. But then we did the opening of gifts. But it was like, happy birthday. It's like everybody's drunk.
It was very funny. You're going happy, and they're just happy. It's like,
it's like, give me another drink. But the point being that through that, I mean, it's not the same. Let's face it. It's not the same.
But it was.
But it was great. It was great, and it
was very, very nice. Yes, and thank everybody out there who gave greetings. I'm not really on Insta, and I'm definitely not on Facebook. I can't stand it.
But you got a ton on Facebook, on Instagram, hundreds of
and
birthday
virtual
greetings.
Campfire. So thank you guys. That means a lot. It does. It really does. It's special to me. So thank you, and people who private chatted me too.
Yeah,
which was awesome.
Thank you all for the birthday greetings. So on to the show. 3i Atlas. Dar keeps trying to push more 3i Atlas stories. I'm like, I think we're a little bit 3i Atlas
Okay, I'm going
heavy.
to tell you why. I have to tell you why. Okay, and maybe they don't know out there. It is not easy to find stories about paranormal events.
No, it's true.
And I think what they the popular media capitalizes on UFOs, and I think that's the hot topic right now. Right. So you can find a ton of stories about UFOs. We don't want this to be just the UFO show, but that being said, 3i Atlas is the hot thing right now in the news.
And
that's why.
Let me say, this is not casting aspersions. You do a fantastic job, and Dar does about 90% of the work on this particular show, just so you're clear. She finds the vast majority of the stories and so forth. So she does a great job.
So it's hard to go through stories, and then you want to,
right.
But this is why there were an abundant amount of 3i Atlas stories, because this is what's headlining the news right now.
No pun intended. Anyway, 3i Atlas, apparently, Avi Loeb, in one of his recent dispatches, mentions the following. New images of 3i Atlas show a single body with a sunward anti-tail, contradicting expectations of a breakup after perihelion. That's when it was closest to the sun. The persistence of large-scale jets requiring a max flux of 5 billion tons per month challenges the natural comet explanation. And Avi suggests the possibility of technological thrusters. He says, we're seeing these jets, and he says, this is something. The post-perihelion maneuver might be employed by a spacecraft that aims to gain speed rather than slow down through the gravitational assist from the sun. So he's still fully on board with at least the strong potential that this is something engineered. This is not natural. So he's standing his ground. And he's also, calling out for the government, saying, okay, NASA, we're at the end of the government shutdown. Release those images. Move that bus. And deep cut. And I agree. It's like, okay, excuse time is over. I think it was last night the president signed the legislation to open back the government, and I think most of us are glad the government's back open. Despite the political stuff, it's good to see the government back open so people can get the help they need and all the different things, and people can be employed. But that's neither here nor there. NASA has no excuse now. Release those images. Release those images. Now, space.com says that, now here I'm confused. I have to admit I'm confused because they talk about the anti-tail and the tail. Space.com says interstellar comet 3I Atlas tail is still growing, new image shows. And the image is from Gianluca Manciano, from Manciano, Italy, and is part of the M50 Virtual Telescope Project Manciano. Now, that's the thing that gets me. These private projects are releasing images, and NASA is not. China is releasing images. NASA is not. We're supposed to be a world leader in this, and you're having volunteers and people basically lapping you. It's ridiculous. But according to this new image, and this is from space.com, it reveals the cosmic visitor's ion tail has grown dramatically longer and more structured, and they say it's a sign of intensifying activity as it continues its journey through the inner solar system. So kudos for all those amateur or academic people who are following this. Boo on NASA. Let's get with the program. Let's get the images out there. Let's get it on the table and decide, is it real or is it Memorex? Another deep cut. Is it something that's of technological origin, or is it just simply a comet? Is Dr. Loeb's theory got weight to it, or is it simply, as some may say, garbage?
Oh, nice segue into this next one. Yeah. So Dr. Michio Kaku, there's an article from, what is it, the LBL Times? Yeah. Saying that it's garbage. So I saw this article, I saw the headline. I'm like, oh my gosh, is he calling Dr. Loeb's work garbage? He's not. So if you read the article, he's saying that he feels that it's not
literally
an
garbage.
It's actually space garbage. He feels that it's an ancient comet about 7 billion years old that traveled through multiple cosmic environments, collecting materials along the way. So he described it as a garbage collector of space debris. And he says that's what's probably making up the unusual chemical makeup, right? And he said it's different because it's much older than anything we've seen. So this is why he is like contradicting Dr. Loeb now. So he's saying, he just feels it's very old. He doesn't feel that it's engineered. Loeb's staying by his theory that it's got propulsions. He just feels that the speculation without quantifiable evidence risks misleading people and causing panic. Mm-hmm. So he said, speculation is fine if Dr. Loeb wants to do that, but you have to quantify it. Mm-hmm. That's what he's saying. I don't know. I've read some of Dr. Loeb's papers. He does seem to quantify it. If you read, he is using science. He's using math to kind of explain himself. So I don't know why he's saying this, because I feel like he is quantifying it. They're talking about the propulsion and it picked up speed, and Dr. Kaku just says it could be natural reasons. It's not a smoking gun. So I put this article in just to show that there's this big dichotomy between the camp that thinks it could be like engineered versus that kind of thing.
Well, as we get further into November, then December, there's going to be, I think, the end of December, towards the end of December.
December 19th.
Yeah, is where it'll be at its closest approach. We'll be able to see it. Hopefully, we'll have more information by
And maybe by then, NASA will be willing to...
Wouldn't that be nice?
I don't understand this. So, in Dr. Kaku's point, doesn't that induce panic? If you would just release pictures and state your beliefs,
Right.
that should reduce panic.
Well,
but by hiding it,
let's give them the benefit of the doubt. I never bought the government shutdown excuse, but let's say, okay, now they have their chance. It is Thursday, November 13th. Let's see by the time that we do this show next Wednesday, let's see if they release any substantial pictures, not just kind of a rehash of what they've already done with like the fuzzy cam. Like with
it looks like they took their iPhone and just threw it up in the air.
Like the camera they used in 1969 for the moon landing. Let's see if they provide Let's see if they provide high resolution, high tech images of it in the next week. And that'll give them plenty of time, even if they say, hey, we've got to, we can't find, the government, the government shut down. We can't find these images. Give me a break.
No, we're behind.
They can find them in 10 seconds. But again, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's report back next week and see what NASA has done.
Okay, I will give you, we'll report back in 3 weeks. And I can guarantee that they're not going to release those photos.
I'm not as generous as you, but we will see. But that story was from ibtimes.co.uk.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm blind with.
No, it's all right. That's all right.
No, I really am. Right. I can't see. So I have contacts in that help me see far away, but then I can't see up close. So that's why you sometimes see me going like this. And now, I could wear these, but
there you go. Well, I love UFOs. I love the space topic and all that. Probably, though, my favorite topic of all the things we cover, because it's truly something we are all facing eventually, hopefully far down the road, is the afterlife. Whether you believe it or whether you don't, we're all headed in that direction. Well, there was a recent story out, dailymail.co.uk, about a woman who has had multiple near-death experiences.
Wow.
Deborah Plum, a Virginia woman, shared her experiences of 2 near-death incidents. During her first NDE in the 1980s, she had an out-of-body experience while giving birth. And in her second, in 2007, after a car accident, she entered a realm of pure energy and encountered a mysterious man who comforted her until help arrived. And she goes on to talk about this. And just to know her background, I think this is really interesting. She's a wife, mother, and former research director at Dartmouth Medical School in New Hampshire. So a woman of science. Okay. And in the mid-'80s, she went into early labor, and she had high blood pressure, seizure, all of these medical happenings. And then she was in the emergency. She entered a state without pain or emotion, and she ended up having this out-of-body experience where she was looking down from the hospital ceiling as doctors worked on her.
Wow.
And she said also that first NDE was so shocking she would not tell anybody. And I've heard this repeatedly. People don't tell other people. Maybe they tell their spouse. She told her spouse. But they don't tell people because they will be perceived as, quote, crazy. Mm-hmm. She didn't say that, but I think that's the gist of it.
That's usual. That's the usual. Yeah.
Yeah. And then she talked about this second one, and this is a thing that is very common too. Her husband and her were in a car accident, sadly, on Valentine's Day, 2007.
Oh, gosh.
And her husband checked her for a pulse, had no pulse, called emergency, or where emergency was called, I assume. In the meantime, she was experiencing this. She said, after the crash, I had no awareness of myself as a unique entity, no cognition of having a distinct identity. Instead, I felt utterly and profoundly peaceful in a way I'd never sensed. She said she entered a blissful realm as being that was filled with a glowing yellow light that reminded her of being submerged in pudding. Never heard that one before. She could hear her husband calling her name in the distance. And she was trying to block it out because it was so euphoric. She didn't want to hear him. She wanted to focus on the experience.
Wow. Yeah.
She said shortly after she was pulled back into her body where a strange man described as being in his 40s with curly hair and a receding hairline, button-down dress shirt and no tie, was waiting by her passenger side door, kept her from moving, kept her comforted until help arrived. But nobody reported seeing him. other than her. And this is very, very common. It's kind of like mountain climbers. I can't remember exactly. It's the third man effect or the third man phenomena. I don't know exactly. But there have been cases of mountain climbers, a couple of mountain climbers. There's one famous example. And they were in very much danger of dying. And the weather had turned bad or something on one of these major mountains. I think somewhere in South America. And the whole time, there was a third person there who did not come with them and was guiding them. And, psychologists say, this is all psychological, da-da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, I don't buy it. I think it's more like a guard. That's exactly what I was going to say. You took the words from my mouth. So, there's too many people, too many credible people. We've had Dr. Eben Alexandra on the show and various guests talking, Dr. Raymond Moody talking about near-death experiences. I just totally believe it. I think it's a thing. I don't think it's just biological, because if it were just biological, how can you float above your body and describe what medical workers do in detail to you? How is that biological? What's biological about that?
Well, they'll just say it's some kind of brain function that they're not completely aware of, something with the conscious or subconscious or something.
Well, if it goes to universal consciousness, then right there goes your scientific materialism, because scientific materialism says there is no soul and everything's in here, and once that's gone, it's gone. But if it can somehow tap into something that can see you, that blows materialism out of the water. So I rest my case.
I don't know. Anyway. I'm just playing devil's advocate because I believe in that. But I can see where psychologists would come out and say it's some kind of, not Freud, but conscious, the subconscious. So your brain is still some chemical reactions and it's allowing that to occur. I don't know. What's that again, Jim? Wait, what?
But this next one isn't.
Some people think this is no.
Yeah.
This next story, there's unbelievable footage from a Canadian cargo ship, and it's sparking major UFO sighting frenzy. Ooh. So MSN had a story late last week. There were some seafarers aboard a Canadian registered freight vessel, and they filmed what they described as an otherworldly object. It was hovering silently above their deck, and then it shot away at incredible speed. And you could see the clip. I'll have the link to the story, but World News X on X, I still want to call it Twitter, sorry, had the video, and I watched it. It's incredible. I don't know what it is. I don't know that it's a UFO or a UAP, but I guess if you can't identify it is, right? Right. So, very, very incredible footage. Yeah. And somebody right on there said, never seen anything like this. And I kind of agree. I've never seen anything like that. It was very pretty.
Well, there you go.
If I'm looking at that, but it hovered above the mast for several seconds. Then it climbed vertically into the night sky, and it was hovering. It was silent. It had rapid ascent. All of that kind of coincides with many other UFO reports, right? Nobody can kind of explain it. They're just saying, it's probably a drone. It's probably, a European rocket. They're just going through all the different things. And, but I do like, there was this paragraph at the end. Why does this story matter? And they're saying it touches on deeper themes, like how modern technology provides ubiquitous vantage points, how shipping and ocean infrastructure expand our observational domain, and how genuine unknowns still exist in our skies. Right.
Right.
Yeah. So, and it's kind of showing how we live in an era where remote ocean routes are part of these aerial sightings. So
now
you
let
don't
me
know what's
ask you
going on
this:
there.
did they say anything about, because a lot of times in the ocean when people see things, they'll say, well, it's Starlink satellites or anything. They kind of discounted that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
they did. They discounted it. And this was a good point too in the article, and it's something that you say all the time too as well, Jim. more than 95% of all UFO sightings can be dismissed, right? By
Right.
military aircraft, stars,
Sure.
planets. I mean, whatever you want to think, you know? Um, and things can be misinterpreted, you
Right.
know?
Sure.
So you just got to be cautious, but it is good, I think, that people are filming these things and kind of bringing this to the forefront. So
I agree.
I just thought the footage was very, very interesting. So there you go.
Well, it kind of plays into in a different category this next story because, again, a lot of things can be explained, but I love the quote in one of the quotes in one of this next story that you found are, this is from PennLive.com, and it's about a driver who claims he saw a creature resembling a Bigfoot. A driver on Interstate 80 in Center County. Isn't that the Pennsylvania Turnpike?
Yeah. We've been on it.
Well,
I don't know if we've been at this point.
Yeah.
Well, I bet we were because we've driven clear across Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I bet at one time or another we have been.
Yeah.
In Center County, reported seeing a creature resembling a Bigfoot crossing the highway. The man described the figure as dark, slender, and moving effortlessly, unlike a bear. And I'll get into that in a moment. A BFRO organization investigator found the witness credible. The man was identified only as BG. He told the Bigfoot Researcher Organization he and his wife were driving west on Interstate 80 near mile marker 169 around 5:30 p.m. October 4th. This was by Bellefonte, if that rings a bell for anybody. Traveling about 150 yards behind a Subaru, the man said he noticed something on the right shoulder walking to the left on two legs. He thought, what the hell is he doing? He's going to get hit. Figuring as a person. When he got a better view, he saw that the figure was completely dark, all the same color, and with a slender, slim build. And his arms were not raised as he walked. The figure didn't stop to step over the guardrail, but kept moving effortlessly, leaving the man to think there was a break in the railing, but there wasn't. Now, here's why I said what he said that I thought was really pertinent here. And this is my part when we talk about pilots with UFOs and we talk about outdoorsmen and outdoors women who have been doing this for years and have seen many different animals. This is the point I made, whether it's with them or with pilots and UFOs. He said, I just want to add, I know what I saw, but I don't know what I saw. I am an avid hunter. With 50 plus years in the woods, this was not a bear. The witness is also a retired civil engineer and Air Force veteran. And the BFRO investigator said, I found him to be sincere and very credible. And this is what I say about Bigfoot, and this is what I say about UFOs. You know, if you talk to scientists, they're going to say, oh, all the reports, it's anecdotal, it's apocryphal, you know, it's not hard data. When you have it coming from credible people who have applicable backgrounds, I don't think you can just throw that in the trash can and say, oh, that doesn't count. That's my whole thing. It doesn't mean that every account is true. I'm sure there are plenty of people who are convinced they saw a Bigfoot and they saw a bear. And I'm sure that many people are convinced they saw some kind of craft and they saw the planet Venus. That definitely happens. And it probably happens more than people who fall into the category of this gentleman. But we can't throw them both out. And I think that's what the materialists and the skeptics want to do. They want to put this gentleman in with the people who just saw a bear.
Right. I also think the opposite is true, right? Sometimes maybe people are like, oh, I saw a bear. Maybe they did see Bigfoot, but, you know, we've been so trained that's
right.
That's incredible. That doesn't happen.
Right.
Never mind. Keep moving. You know, it could be that way too. It could definitely be opposite. You know, we don't know. My curiosity with this story, were there other people? I mean, he mentioned the Subaru ahead. Were there other cars in the area? Did they see that? You know, I would put the call out for other people to come forward if they saw something. Power and strength in numbers, right? You know, so that would be my interesting little take, because I think that would be cool if somebody can corroborate what he saw.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. I agree. I think that's great. And how many of these cases go, you bring up a good point, how many of these cases go unreported? A,
That's
because
right.
people don't know who to report it to. B, they go,
Correct.
oh, it's just one of those things. Or they're going to think I'm crazy.
Exactly. I definitely see, because that's people, and we've seen it too. Some people, they're like, oh, I would love to tell my story on campfire, but I don't, people, if they know who I am, they're going to think I'm nuts.
Right.
Well,
unfortunately.
First of all, campfire is the safe place to do that. And you're just validating many other people's experiences. And if you really are scared about it, be anonymous.
Yeah.
You don't have to use your real name.
Well, I agree. JimHarold.com/campfire. JimHarold.com/campfire. Sign up to tell your stories. We always need stories.
Few more slots
Actually,
left this year.
Have we put up in the virtual campfire for this? There's something we wanted special for the holiday season.
I did.
Let's mention that.
We haven't gotten any takers on this. I am really calling for those that have had any kind of paranormal experience during the holidays. I don't care, Thanksgiving, Christmas, if you follow the winter solstice, if you're pagan, if New Year's, any kind of like weird happenings that have happened. Maybe you've been, a la Charles Dickens, maybe visited by ghosts, or maybe your loved ones have come to you during the holidays, maybe. Any kind of weird experience that you've had or unusual that, people would think is weird or unusual, but you know what I'm saying? Anything that you've had during the holidays, I put this out to Jim. I would love to have an episode on or near Christmas, just kind of highlighting those stories. And I know we've had a few in the past,
right?
But
there's some good ones.
There are, and I'd like to include maybe some of those, but have some new ones in there and make an episode with that. So please sign up and let me know, if it's a holiday one, because we'll get you on and get you scheduled ASAP.
JimHarold.com/campfire. JimHarold.com/campfire to sign up to tell your holiday story, or otherwise we would love for you to do that.
Yeah.
One more thing before we get to the next story. One more thing. Speaking of the holidays, you've done something pretty cool with our merch store. I'm going to bring this up here.
You just love this. Oh. Jim is infatuated with this shirt.
Yes, this is awesome.
I'm ordering ours today, so we're going to you have to tell me what color. But we have 17 colors.
Yeah.
It's a Krampus, says 'tis the season to stay spooky. Jim Harold's Campfire. So we've got nice little Krampus being represented.
Yeah.
I think we have it in shirt and hoodie, so...
I think it is so cool. And how many colors did you say you had? What was
17.
It? 17.
17. So I couldn't do black because the image is in black. But we've got gray and all kinds of different greens, a couple different reds. Even blues. I just put it on everything. So,
and you also did a sweatshirt or a hoodie version. I'll see if I can pull that
There's
up
a hoodie
here
one.
if the technology works. Hey,
there
it
you
worked.
go. 9 colors for that one.
Yeah.
It
is awesome.
It
is awesome. And
they're cool.
And we wanted to get that out early because the thought is that, hey, time's a wasting, and it's going to be the holiday Susan. The holiday Susan.
Thank you.
The holiday
Who's she?
Susan.
Jim, what's going on here? No.
Hey. We'll talk
Who's
afterwards.
Susan?
I have something to bring.
Uh-oh.
I'm just joking.
You better be.
Never. So anyway, the point being, if you like Krampus, this is a great way to support the Spooky Studio and a great way to share your love for the show and have some fun with it. And again, I love the more poignant and touching and family and religious meanings of Christmas, but I also love to have fun with it. And this is a great way to have fun with it, with a little bit of Krampus. And we actually have a show coming up a new episode coming up on the Paranormal Podcast soon that will deal with Krampus and other spooky holiday stories.
Yeah, if you think about it, Christmas, was known for that.
Yeah,
that
spooky
time,
ghost stories.
Yes,
that
for
line
sure.
in that famous
That was
song.
a big deal, especially in the Victorian age. So, and also stay tuned. I might have some sweeter sweatshirts if you're too afraid of that one.
There you go. Yeah. Jim
Yeah.
Harold,
So
jimharold.com/merch, jimharold.com/merch. Hard to say.
there you go.
But good to go to, hard to say. One last thing about that. The thing that I love about, I mean, we really don't make a ton of money on these different shirts and merch just because so much is taken up with things like shipping and things like, having them actually made. That's where the lion's share, the money
production.
goes to.
Yeah.
Yeah, the production. But what it does do for us, I mean, of course, we do make some money on it or we wouldn't be doing it, just being transparent. But why I love it, it has Jim Harold's Campfire on it or Stay Spooky. I mean, it kind of helps spread the word about the shows and what we do. So you're helping us that way too, just by
totally does.
Starting up conversations. Saying, well, what's that all about? And then you can tell them how fantastic the Campfire is.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Well, I'll tell you something that isn't fantastic, I guess, is something that's terrifying. And this next story apparently is terrifying, right, Dar?
I guess so. There's a woman who claims she's an alien and she has the proof that they exist.
Terrifying proof.
Terrifying. She's a starseed from the Pleiades star in the constellation of Taurus. She found sudden clarity that she's actually an alien from 400 light years away. Okay, I'm not laughing at that. Just
what's the proof?
I just know. Well, yeah. So she said when she was 14, her name's Rosanna Hannes.
I thought you could say Rosanna Zanadana or whatever that was.
Oh, that would have been funny. Yeah, I didn't think of that one.
That was a long time
But she
ago.
says she has like a lot of vivid dreams and she's had a lot of spooky vivid dreams and premonitions. And she saw herself like soaring above high buildings and the dreams didn't scare her. She loved them. But she underwent a form of therapy known as rebirthing, which uses like breathing techniques to simulate being born. And then at that moment when she was 14, the spiritual center kind of guided her through this rebirthing, and she's got memories of her birth and that she was sent here from another planet. And she realized her dreams were like likely astral projections, and that her dreams of spaceships and hairless humanoids. So she concluded she was known as a starseed, which is an alien soul which lives inside a human body, and she was sent to Earth in order to help guide other aliens.
Now, here's where I contradict myself.
Maybe me too. I don't know.
I will say this. I'm not saying it's impossible. I would never say it's impossible, but saying that is proof,
well, that's what I didn't like about this story too, because it's like, well, what, just because you went through a rebirthing and you had a vision that you weren't from here, that's the proof. I mean, I think just like I get on the scientists about, proof and doing proper experiments and getting proper data and really proving things. I'm kind of, and I do have that science background.
Yeah. And there's more of a thing of, to me, proof is like, okay, this absolutely is true. And I'm interpreting this correctly. And here's the actual proof. To me, even if this is all true, it's more evidence than proof, because proof means to me like you've got the non-AI manipulated video of somebody stealing something. You've got something incontrovertible, I think.
Vertible.
Yeah.
Incontrovertible.
But the point is that proof means slam dunk, 50 people saw him pull the trigger. Even if you go for this, it's more evidence.
Correct.
And it's her interpretation of it. I mean, I'm a little skeptical on it. I got to be honest. I don't want to be disrespectful or mean or nasty to people. I never want to be that. And I always say, I'm very accepting and very welcoming. But this one, I have to be honest, I'm a little bit skeptical about.
Well, I am too. And I'm not discounting her story. If that's what she feels she went through and she sees that and that's what she believes, that, hey, power to you. I just don't know if I can believe that, right? I'm keeping an open mind to it, and that's possible. She kind of has a business and she helps people identify and release their trapped emotions and their limiting beliefs. And So she's trying to help others. But see, I also subscribe to the fact that there could be aliens among us. You know what I mean?
I definitely think that could be. And I
Right?
definitely, I'm not totally off the hybrid program thing. Could there be that? Does that mean, do I think all our world leaders are reptilians? No, I don't think
Lizard
that.
people?
Although I have interviewed people who do believe that, but and I will,
Sorry.
because again,
Right.
well, seriously though,
Right,
it's not
no,
about
right.
when I do these interviews with people.
I know.
I particularly I'm talking about authors and experts and things like that. There's no way that I could agree. And I used to have this with Art Bell. I'm like, well, how can he believe all these different theories? The point was he didn't necessarily believe all the theories. But what he was doing and what I try to do in my weak little way compared to him is I try to bring people in who have different viewpoints, and then I let you decide. And some of the people who I have on, like a Dr. Raymond Moody or people like that, I'm like, ding, 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 ding. I totally agree with all this. I believe this is all a real thing and so forth. And other people, like when I interviewed a flat earther, I told him I didn't believe it. But I said, I want your perspective. I want to know why you believe it so we understand. Same with the guy that said that the moon landing was fake. Again, it's not about my viewpoints. It's about bringing the viewpoints out there and letting people decide what they think and be exposed to it rather than hearing what somebody third hand said about that theory.
Right. You're providing the forum and letting
Yes.
people use their own opinions, thoughts, and beliefs
Yes.
to make a judgment call whether they
Yes.
believe that.
Yeah.
That's the problem, I think, too often today. And here
We have to
getting on my
provide
soapbox.
context. We have to
Yes,
provide context.
I have to provide the context. No, you do not. That's not context. That's your opinion. I don't want your opinion. I want facts. And then I, believe it or not, am smart enough to make my own decisions
Exactly.
about what I believe and don't
we used
believe.
to, I think I made this point a week or
context.
two ago. If you
did.
watch like these old talk shows from the 70s on YouTube,
Yes.
you'll have like Phil Donahue interviewing a flat earther or somebody had kind of an out there theory. And it's
Right.
not that Phil Donahue or fill in the blank of the 1970s host necessarily believed that, but they were doing the same thing. They say, hey, we're not too sure about this, but you be the judge and understand why the person thinks that.
That's right. That's right.
And then again, but like I always say, if I'm a gas gauge, I'm 3/4 full for in terms of belief. I do skew towards belief, but it doesn't mean I believe everything all the time. Anyway,
No.
yeah,
No, that's why, and then you always say, well, paranormal, podcast doesn't get all the love that a lot of these other podcasts get. And I think it's because of that. A lot of these other podcasts, they're taking a stand or a viewpoint and they're making it controversial and
Right.
ooh, click, clickbait, click.
Yeah.
Oh, look, I'm going to erupt. I'm going to start. Oh, I'm going to go
Yeah.
against this one, or I'm going to agree with. So they get the love because it's controversial.
Well,
You're just
it's
saying,
a-
look,
yeah.
here it is. Here's
Right.
the information that this
Right.
author or expert has. Here it is. You guys decide.
yeah.
I appreciate that. Sorry.
Well, one of the big
And what else
things-
can we appreciate, Jim?
Well, here's what we can appreciate. A lot of times I say that the world is, the universe is not only stranger than we imagine, it's also stranger than we can imagine. We know so little about life, particularly on the ocean floor. Well, get this. This is from sciencealert.com, so not Weekly World News. Scientists have recently discovered extremophile microbes living in a highly alkaline, nutrient-poor volcanic goo beneath the Pacific Ocean. It's a very dense story. The microbes found in serpentine mud near the Mariana Trench produce energy from methane, confirming the presence of methane-producing microorganisms in this extreme environment. This discovery provides insights into life's origins and the potential for life in harsh conditions. So basically, they found life in this goo they didn't even know about. And it actually is, if you touch it, like with your bare skin, it would burn you. Yeah,
Goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But basically, this is like kind of a whole new form of life that they didn't even know about. And it's in the ocean floor. And that just kind of, again, it confirms to me that there's so much we don't know, whether it's about space or the deep ocean, as we talked about many times. He said, until now, the presence of methane-producing microorganisms in the system has been presumed, but could not be directly confirmed. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it's a very dense story, but it's just, then they've got a good picture here of the goo. It looks like it's blue goo, actually. Blue volcanic goo.
Blue juice.
It said it would this nutrient-poor ooze would cause severe burns to your skin on contact.
Oh my gosh.
But it's got these microbes there. Yeah. Yeah.
That's weird.
And they said what's fascinating about these findings is that life is under these extreme conditions, such as high pH and low organic carbon concentrations, is even possible. So that means, maybe planets that we say, oh, they couldn't sustain life. Well, maybe the way we're thinking about they can't sustain life, but maybe their biology and everything is totally different than ours. Maybe it's not carbon-based. So I guess what I'm saying is that, again, this discovery, ironically, shows our inability to understand everything. And we just understand that much, just a thimbleful, as smart as we are. In fact, as smart as our next person is, in this case, they weren't smart enough, and they are positively outraged. It is time. I wish I had a sounder for this. Time for our weekly Kim Kardashian update.
She is furious with her family's psychics because they said she'd pass the bar exam. Yeah, and she didn't. She failed. And thank you to our virtual campfire member, Elizabeth. Her and I had a little back and forth about this. She is an attorney, and she was kind of filling me in, and therefore I was able to find a story about that this week. She is really ticked off with her family's psychics. There's 4 of them. And 4 of them told her she would pass the bar, and she did not. So she unloaded on them, and she said she called them pathological liars and, quote, all of the beeping psychics that we have met with and that we're obsessed with are all beeping full of beep. There you go.
That's a lot of beep.
Lots of beeping. And she said they're all full pathological liars, and I don't believe anything they say. Elizabeth on Virtual Campfire made a good point. She used Chat GPT. She didn't go to law school. She used Chat GPT to study for this thing. First of all,
that's a point.
How stupid are you? You know that AI is not foolproof. Why do people think AI doesn't make mistakes? I'll give you a perfect example. When I was doing our live stream, I decided to see if they can give me help me give me some wrong answers for some of our trivia, right? So I was putting some stuff in. It wasn't even giving me the right answers for things. And I'm like, what are they talking about? Yeah. I know the song was written by or sung by blah, blah, blah. Or I know the title is blah, or the lyrics are blah, blah, blah. And it was giving me all incorrect answers. I'm like, goodbye. So I decided, I thought I would try it. Maybe it would make my life a little easier because I had a lot of questions, a lot of things to do. And it didn't. It just made it worse. Yeah. So
I think about that
the same.
Yeah. I think about that the same way I think about local news. Sometimes I'll tune in local news and they'll have a story and I'll know something's wrong because I know the subject. But the problem is that that's when I know the subject. But how much do they get wrong when I don't know the subject?
That's right.
And it's the same thing with AI. I mean, again, it's like trust but verify.
Right.
I totally use it, but I don't necessarily trust everything it says. I double check it or I'm like, no, that's BS. It's like,
well,
but I
wouldn't want her to be my lawyer. You didn't go to school for this.
But here's the thing. I think we said this before. I think Kim Kardashian is a very smart woman in terms of marketing and so forth. And I bet you if she applied herself and went through law school and did what she needed to do, she would probably pass the bar exam with flying colors.
I think she would.
You can't just try to shortcut it. It's like Cassandra's going to optometry school. That's not something you can shortcut. And I think, people like Kim Kardashian have been used to being able to take shortcuts. And for something like this, you can't shortcut it.
No, I just think I don't know. I get angry. I'm a big proponent of education. You have to, and whether that's formal or, even doing it on your own, that's fine. But I don't, what is she just studying to pass the bar? This is my problem with her. Are you just studying to pass the test, or are you studying to really understand the precedents of all the different laws and cases? And come on. But I have a little follow up because
I object. No, never mind. Just
psychic Matt Frazier says that her psychics could still be right. And this is what I thought of immediately when I read the article. She's saying that they're all pathological liars. She failed. But psychics don't give you a timeline. And that's what Matt Frazier is saying. They could still be right. They're not on our timeline. It doesn't mean that she's not going to pass in the future, right?
Right.
And I was just thinking that because I had gone to psychics. My favorite one was when I was like in my early 20s, and I went to her and she told me a whole bunch of stuff. And I'm like, none of this is coming true. But a lot of it did come true way down the line, like 20 years from what she had said.
Right.
So chill.
Look, I think psychics are like car mechanics or podcasters or any walk of life. There's good ones and there's not so good ones. I don't think they're all fake. I don't think they're all real. And I think we've been lucky to come across some folks who I have, great faith in. But the thing is that, and there was, I think was it Robert John was his name, a psychic I talked to, and I made that point to him, well, our psychics frauds and everything. He said, well, are all radio hosts frauds or podcast hosts? It's like, and you know what? It was like, touche, you're right. I mean, the point is there's good and bad in every walk of life. And I believe they're genuinely people who have real psychic gifts, and they're the real deal. So that's just my feeling.
Matt says in this article, he admits that psychic readings should be expected to be about 90% accurate, which would mean then 10% of the time a different outcome could occur. But it doesn't mean that just because they told her, I don't think she's giving up on it. I think she's still going to, use her AI and continue to study. I don't know.
There you go.
Whatever.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, a Texas woman says Loch Ness Monster. Well, she's apparently seen something. This is from, let me get it right, unexplained-mysteries.com. Michon Milky, a visitor from Texas, reported seeing something resembling a large creature's head emerging from the water at Loch Ness on October 28th. The sighting, which is the fifth of this year, was documented on the official Loch Ness Monster Sightings Register. And she did take a picture, but it was too blurry to prove further details. Let's see. Here she says.
Oh, did she use NASA's? Sorry,
it's a government shutdown.
I couldn't resist. Boom. Sorry. Thank you. Sorry.
Yeah, there you go. You earned that one. She said, I first saw it and was like, wow, that looks just like the images I saw from the sightings website. It didn't look like a wave. It actually looked like the head of something popping up. It made a distinct pattern in the water I couldn't see anywhere else, kind of like its own wake. And then it was gone. From that distance, I'd say the water pattern was at least 3 meters long.
Wow.
And again, her picture was from such a distance and was blurry that it was impossible to make anything out, which, our cameras are great for close-ups and things like our phone cameras. It's amazing how good they are. But then when you start to get into a distance and things, they just don't cut it yet.
Right.
But I also think, I think, and here's where AI could be useful. Will we at some point be able to take some of these photos that have been taken over the years and somehow enhance them, reassess them, analyze them through AI, and be able to determine if there is something or if it's just an anomaly or something like that. So, for example, you could take maybe a UFO film made in the 60s, right? Or maybe the Patterson-Gimlin film from 67 on Bigfoot. And if you could eventually pump it through AI and say, is this definitely a man in a suit or is this definitely some kind of creature? I wonder what will be possible in future years. Not that it's 100% foolproof, but maybe can give us a better look into some of these things. So this could be something where I think AI could be very useful.
Possibly. Well, I just started thinking about this right now after I just spewed about, her Chat GPT thing. I was thinking, what does AI do? Doesn't it just take the, information that people are putting into it, right? Like, doesn't it take information that's already from the internet, create?
Right, but it could take, couldn't an LLM take the information of a photographic analyst and be able to apply those principles and so forth if it's properly trained?
Analyst is correct. See, we're making big assumptions that the people that are supposedly experts are correct on everything, and they're not. Sorry, we're human. We all make mistakes. So mistakes are getting pumped into this stuff as well, and it's becoming it's Bible. It's not. There you go. So sorry, that actually I think that was a Kardashian callback. I think, don't they say Bible? You wouldn't know. You didn't used to watch that.
No.
Yeah. Oh God. See, that's why my brain cells are dead and yours are still well preserved.
But no, it's good because you have a different perspective. It's good because you have to, and that's why I think this show works, and that's why it needs to be more popular, folks. Share the show. There should be no, really. I see these couple things, and people are bantering, talking back and forth, and they're like top podcast. What's up, folks? Let's get this show popular. Come on.
We're just not controversial, and I'm pretty.
No, I don't know. I think it's a really strong show, and I told you I thought this had a chance to be as big or bigger than any show that I have, and I still believe that. We just gotta light that candle, get that going. So, folks, please share the show with your friends who like spooky stuff, like a little bit of Gen X back and forth. There you go.
Old timers. Now that I had a birthday, geez. Okay. But if you do like some spooky stuff, we're going to end the news with the 7 most haunted restaurants in the U.S. according to chowhound.com. And I love this article. This was interesting. They kind of went through some of the different restaurants. I would love to visit some of these places. One of them is the Old Talbot Tavern in Bardstown, Kentucky. They think they get beyond the grave visits from Jesse James. I've heard about this one, Muriel's Jackson Square in New Orleans. I've definitely heard about that. There's a resident ghost who lost a devastating game of poker and apparently did something not nice to himself. Please, if you are suffering from any mental health issues, please get help. 988, right, Jim?
Yeah, 988, which is the lifeline to help people who are having suicidal ideation and those types of things. So reach out to them. They're 24/7, 365, 988. That's 988.
Yeah.
And that's very important to mention when this comes up.
Yes. And don't use AI, because I just read a story this week about a 23-year-old with the most promising future ahead of him. And he had been chatting with AI for like months. And basically, my opinion, AI did goad him into killing himself. Please encourage your young people, encourage anybody, don't use AI for that. Please talk to a real therapist.
Not for therapy and not for stuff like that,
No, it just made me, I actually just cried reading the article, and it's very upsetting. So anyway, let's go back to the nice restaurants. So Jean Bonnet Tavern in Bedford, Pennsylvania is another one. 1 if by land, 2 if by sea in New York City, in New York. The White Horse Tavern in Newport, Rhode Island. Moonshine Grill in Austin, Texas. So if any of you guys have been to some of these places, I'd love to hear about them. Put it in the virtual campfire. Kind of share your story if you've had or seen any, thing. This last one, Warren Tavern in Charleston, Massachusetts, says it was frequented by Paul Revere, and they see a woman in black as well as men in George Washington style wigs. So kind of interesting. I wonder how many people see stuff and don't, like you said before, don't report it.
Yeah. I love these. And think about, if they're not dressed in colonial garb, you could think it's just a person and it could be a ghost. We could be walking we could be on the street and walk past somebody and they could be a ghost. They don't necessarily have to be translucent, like we see in the movies.
Right.
So it's interesting. And I love these places and I'd like to, that's something we need to do is start going to some more of these historic haunts. Those are the ones that really fascinate me because I love history. So if you don't get a haunt, you still get the history. And then if you get the haunt, you got like a double hit. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, pretty neat.
I forgot to mention this. I have to mention this. Did you know that you were talking about Kim Kardashian and the bar exam? Did you know I failed the bar exam?
Okay, get ready, everybody, because the joke is coming. Go ahead.
Do you remember that time with the buckets of beer? In the 90s? And
Wait, I think if they need to hear more, they should subscribe to be a Plus Club member, and let's put that on behind the scenes.
Oh, that's really behind the scenes.
We have a really good behind the scenes story of how Jim did not pass the bar.
I failed the bar exam.
Oh, with flying
colors. Badly.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good behind the scenes anecdote.
Yeah. The title could be How Jim Failed the Bar Exam.
That's a good one. Yep.
Yeah. Very good.
Did
very
he?
Good. Oh,
yes.
That's
all
memories.
We'll say here.
Bad
Sign
memories,
up, be a Plus
memories.
Club member.
That's right. JimHarrell.com/plus. Well,
there we go.
Dar, I think we have successfully landed through another edition of the Paranormal Report. Friends, please share the show to your friends and neighbors who like spooky stuff and a little bit of Gen X banter back and forth. What else? What else am I missing?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think we cover everything. I don't want to promo people to death.
Oh, yeah. What about just quickly about the ornament contest?
Oh, yes. I meant to mention that. There you go. Yes. Folks, if you've been long-time listeners, you'll know that we did a holiday ornament contest every year up until I think about 2022. And then we stopped that because we were running out of space for ornaments. And we did a card contest, which was fun. But I always felt that the ornament contest just had a little more oomph to it. And we just announced it. You can go to jimharrell.com/holiday2025 to get all the details. We're giving away things like Amazon gift cards, campfire t-shirts, books. So it's a nice prize package and it's a lot of fun. And then we feature it on social media. There's a panel, which is usually basically you, me, Cassandra, Natalie, and Maddie. Yeah.
So we all vote, which I like that way of doing it too. So it's
we keep them all individual. Yeah, it's all individualized.
It's all individual. It's just by numbers on a number
and then we
scale.
add them all up, and whoever wins wins.
We do lots of math.
Yeah, I have to take my shoes off when we do that. In fact,
they won't understand. Will people understand that?
I use my toes. Get it?
Out.
So, but anyway,
I'm sorry.
The point.
I didn't mean to insult anybody.
I think our intelligent audience would know that. But anyway, the point being, it's a lot of fun. It gets you in the holiday spirit.
Creative.
It doesn't have to be Christmas. It could be any holiday tradition. And some of the best ones are like they mix the holiday with the spooky. Yeah, we had one Krampus one. It was terrifying.
It's absolutely terrifying. There were a few that I'm like, okay, I can't look at those. Please put those away. No, I did look at them, but they freaked me out.
Yeah.
Greatly.
And just
I'm like, we'll put those on the other side of the tree. No. So I don't have to see it when I'm.
They're great.
I'm just joking. No, they're excellent. So creative. And that's what I love.
Such talent. I have no artistic talent. These people have all the time. So anyway, jimharrell.com/holiday2025. We just like to make this, some people just put out a podcast and leave it at that. But we want more community. We want to be a fun part of your life, something you can kind of get away from all the crap going on in the world. We just want to kind of engender that community. By the way, virtualcampfiregroup.com, virtualcampfiregroup.com. That's where you can really plug in. And actually, I should mention this and then I'll shut up. We're really winding down that Facebook virtual campfire group. And last weekend was the last straw. About a month
Jim's
ago,
newsletter.
About a month ago, we had they had this new feature, maybe a month and a half ago, Campfire AI. They put AI in. And it's like, I don't want that. This community is about human interaction. So I turned it off. So anyway, I just logged in to check in because I'm not going over there that much anymore. Because we are winding it down. But I hadn't wound it down yet because people were upset and they still wanted it. And I'm like, well, I can just drag my feet and close it down whenever. And Campfire AI, without my permission, cropped back up, and people are like, turn off the AI. And it's like, I did turn it off. And that's exactly why we are getting away from the Facebook group, because they just interject our group with a bunch of crap that we don't want and we didn't ask for. So.
And you try to turn it off and they just feel like they know better than you.
So you know what? We're going to turn the whole group off. So again, if you want to continue to interact with us, I mean, I'll still have a Facebook page. My Jim Harold Facebook page will still be there, so you can keep up to date there. If you never go off of Facebook and cannot deal with not being on Facebook, you can follow my because some people are just like, oh, Facebook, that's all we can do.
Oh,
but I'll still have updates there. Okay, so you can still have a little bit of interaction there. But that's mainly just where I post. I don't really. But if you really want to continue to interact with the virtual campfire model and not have all of that crap, and it's free to you, and there is an app, virtualcampfiregroup.com, virtualcampfiregroup.com. So when people say, well, why are you closing it down, Jim? That's Exhibit A, and that tells you exactly why we're doing it. Because we love the interaction. We have
it was fantastic. You did Campfire last week, had Hannah, who was telling her story of Mac. And I told her to go over there because people were commenting about it. And so she did. And then she posted a beautiful picture. Okay, I got to stop because that story just makes me cry. It was just so sad. Poignant. But I mean, that's the kind of thing that you'll be able to get, and you'll be able to see it because it's not going to be buried under other junk that Facebook
75
decides.
spam. And they just came out. There was this whole thing about Meta and spam ads and stuff. So it's all pointing to getting off of that platform. You know, and again, I will still be there on my page because you kind of have to be. But in terms of going the extra mile and doing a group, it makes no sense because they could shut down all the groups tomorrow arbitrarily. They could just say we're shutting it off.
They could do whatever they want.
Yeah. So that's why we're paying the money, and it is expensive, folks. It's thousands of dollars for me to do this. But I think it's worth it, and we're going to continue with it, virtualcampfiregroup.com.
I just love the community. I love everybody there.
It's great. It's very nice. And when we have a problem, hey, we had somebody that posted something this week that they shouldn't have posted. It wasn't vulgar or anything like that, but it was promotional. No. And I think it was just an honest mistake, but we took it down.
And why don't we want promotional,
because
Jim?
It becomes a slippery slope, and we don't know what we're promoting.
So we let this
and then
in,
it becomes
and
Facebook.
Then someone else, and who's this, and what are you promoting? We don't know this event. Is it safe? Is it some kind of scam? We don't have
and
ways
somebody
of
said,
knowing.
a very nice member said, well, you could have a promotions only page, and somebody else said, slippery slope, and that's exactly right.
It is, because you don't know what's true and what's not true, and what the event really is like, or maybe it's not even an event. Maybe they're selling some kind of EVP stuff. We don't know all about that. We don't want to get involved in that.
We're not doing outside promotion.
And yes, we are promoting many of our own things, but Jim's entitled. He pays thousands of dollars to. But we try not to over promote, and I really don't.
No.
I put up new merch when it's there in case somebody wants to know, but we don't really. I mean, you know.
No,
it is a venue to talk about the shows and talk about what's been on there.
Or your experiences and those kind of things. And we really try to be good stewards of it. So anyway, we appreciate everybody's over there. And we do. Hope that you'll join us at virtualcampfiregroup.com. Well, Dar, I think that does it for another week of the Paranormal Report. Again, happy belated birthday.
Thank you. And thanks, everyone. You are my baby, my soulmate, my best friend, and I love you, and thank you. And now I'm going to go cry off camera.
Same here. Well, we will talk to you on the Paranormal Report next time. Bye-bye. Stay spooky.